Welcome back to Best Practice, and here we are again with the tech issues. The dog's walked into the studio, the cameras are all set up, we're ready to go, the lights are on. We've got our productivity tips, and we are set to go. So in this episode, if you're somebody who's interested in learning more about working from home, we're going to get into it. So we're just waiting for a couple more people to come online, and then we will get started. Best Practice, and here we are again with the tech issues. The dog's walked in. And more tech issues. So I hope you've got your favourite beverage. Are we happy? What have we got? We've got LinkedIn, we've got YouTube. All right, we're good to go. Okay, welcome back everybody. I apologise for the delay in kicking off on time. How are we going? We're a couple of minutes late, so thank you for your patience. If you're somebody who wants to know more about working from home, more about how you can be productive, if you're challenged by getting organised, staying focused, I've got some really exciting productivity tips for you. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is this great guide. Go to bestpractice.biz and /guides, and then you can pick up this free working from home guide. You can, it's customizable, so it's something you can download. It's free to download. Go to bestpractice.biz /guides, GUIDES, and you can pick up this great document that you can read online, or you can download it and then customize it to become a policy for your organization. Free to do that. So you can go through. These are our recommendations in terms of the content for you guys to be using. In this particular video, I want to focus more specifically on you from an employee or a person's perspective or a worker's perspective with some productivity tips. So I've preloaded some notes. I've changed the studio around a little bit this morning to give me the opportunity to put up some notes for you guys today in the stream. As always, let me know in the comments if you have got any questions. I do want to take your questions if you have got any. Luke's going to let me know. He's here in the studio helping me. You under control, mate? You're all good? Okay, I'm getting the nod of approval. So what we talked about with this particular video is that we would do our top 10 tips. It was really hard to keep it to 10, so I'm going to give you a few bonus ones. It's probably about 15 tips. Tip number one is obviously download a copy of this guide, so you've got it for use in your organisation. Download it, edit it, and then you can circulate it. It's the best practice guide for working from home, something that you can use for your organisation and also for yourself. Thinking about what you want to achieve. I'll just quickly go through the contents there. We talk about having your mission statement and your vision, some thinking about rules and accountability and roles and responsibilities. We want to talk about remote working arrangements. We want to talk about communication policy, meetings, management responsibilities, equipment, health and safety guidelines, cybersecurity. From an employee's perspective, about your routine, customising your workspace and boosting productivity. Treat it like an office, managing your well-being and meetings and staying connected. Probably for us, now we're 6 months into this pandemic, here where we work, the majority of our team are still working from home. We still do have lockdown here in Australia between the states. There's a small amount of relaxing of the state borders with the border restrictions, but it's still it's not free to travel. We're not free to travel around our whole country as we previously were. So with that in mind, we have lots of people in different locations. I can't physically get to those people in our current working arrangements, so I'm trying to do as much as I can with my busy schedule to keep in contact with people. And literally in the 15 minutes, 20 minutes before this live stream started, I've been sending text messages to some people and having a couple of phone calls with people from Best Practice just to check in on them. I was obviously reminded to do so by my team. Hey, you haven't checked in on people for a little while, can you please do that? The dog's just joined us in the studio, so he's right here, so hopefully he doesn't start barking, but bring your dog to work day today. Yes, he is here. Okay, let's get into it. So in this video, I wanted to talk to you more about how you can be super effective when you're working from home and be really super productive, and hopefully I can give you some inspiration and some motivation. I really like to know where you guys are watching from, so please let me know in the comments if you're watching on LinkedIn or if you're watching across on YouTube. Please let me know in the comments where you are watching from. It's really exciting for me to know sort of the breadth, and for you guys to start working together as a community and connecting with each other, because you are part of the Best Practice family. So thanks for joining us today. I hope I've got a huge amount of value. So first resource, get yourself a copy of this great guide. Okay, let me get into a couple of my tips. I said I would give you guys about 10 tips. It's going to be more than that this morning. I really want to start to think about, which one am I going to do first? I really want to start to think about how you can prioritize. I think the biggest piece of feedback I've gotten from people in terms of how do I prioritize my tasks. So if you're somebody who's not quite sure how to prioritize your task, how do you actually anticipate the expectations of your boss or the people around you? This little methodology, the ABCDE method of prioritization, is something that I've been using for a long time. I didn't realize that I was doing it until someone showed me this system, and I was like, oh, that's what I do. I'd sort of figured it out naturally. It is something that I think if you guys break this down, so if you are clever with tech, as you go through this video, please take some screenshots. If you see notes like this, you can take, if you're watching on a mobile device, you can take a screenshot with an iPhone, or if you're on a desktop, take a screenshot. We'll post this, we'll post photos of this up on my Instagram account. So if you go and follow me on Instagram at KobeSimat, go check out my Instagram page. We'll get this posted today. Luke is actually putting it on the Instagram story right now. So we'll be up on the Instagram story, we'll put it up on the Instagram page, and then you can screenshot it and use it later on. Just to quickly go through this, when you're thinking about your day, so the one thing that I do every day is I sit down and I plan my day. I can't profess to say I do it 100% of the time, but every single one of my days is planned. I have an 8 a.m. phone call with my executive assistant, Caitlin, every single morning. This morning I had that phone call while I was driving to the office, driving up here to the studio, and my calendar and my diary, my calendar is planned 4 to 6 weeks in advance. It's pretty full for the next 6 weeks. And then we are starting to lock things in sort of 6, 7, 8 weeks out. So every single one of my days is planned. And so there are meetings organised, there are catch-ups, there are chats, there are phone calls, there's strategic discussions, there's meeting with clients. Yes, there's some space. So what I sit down every morning and do is I plan the space. If I've got a really busy day, I spend more time on doing some reading, some meditation, going for a walk, if my day is fully booked, than thinking about the extra things I'm going to try and jam into a day. I carry a to-do list around with me. You may have seen in some of the videos, I have a black book with all of my notes. I carry that around. It's my day book. I carry that around every single day. What I wanted to do was, like, we've all got lots to do. And often to be able to do more, we need to do less. So I wanted to show you my system today that I use to actually do less rather than doing more. It helps me to prioritize. It helps me to focus on the things that in my mind and my mindset are really important. So the first thing we do is we start with, we've got A, B, C, D, E. In terms of the A, B, C, D, E method, it's really important to stick to this and keep it really simple. The first thing is, as we're thinking about the things we need to do, planning our day, planning our week, planning our month, we've got A tasks, and it's like the different types of tasks. A tasks are must-dos. If you don't do them, the world's going to collapse. You have to eat. You have to drink water. You have to, you have to kiss the wife and the kids on the way out of the house in the morning, or your partner on the way out of the house. These are must-do activities. In business, it's must-do. I must approve or have somebody approve the payroll. I must do marketing. I must do sales. I must do proposals. You must fill out a timesheet. Those must-do tasks, they're absolutely essential. You must do them. They sit at the top of the list, and you've got to get onto them. You've got to get them done. They're very important, and they must do tasks. So they're your A tasks. So you're putting all of those things into your list, if you like, putting them into your bucket for the day, and those must-dos, and really starting to think about these things as you say, well, actually, maybe they're not all must-do, because then we can get to the should-do. So should-dos are a second level priority. They're a B task. And you cannot, if you're working on a B task, but there's an A task, it's something that you must do, you can start to understand these are tasks that you should do, but they're not 1,000% essential. They're something that actually you can delay it a little bit, because it's important to breathe and eat and go to the toilet and have a shower and get dressed and manage your personal hygiene and do some exercise. These are all must-dos, because the world collapses, if that makes sense. You must get more customers for your organization. You must make more sales, because you won't have revenue and cash flow. They're the must-do activities. Okay, my phone's doing a lot of buzzing. I apologize. B, let me get rid of this. C tasks are the nice-to-do tasks. It's, the nice-to-do is at lunchtime, calling home and saying, what's for dinner? Calling and catching up with a friend, or sending a text message to wish somebody happy birthday. They're nice to-dos, but when you've got must-dos, the nice to-dos need to go back. Now, this is hard work. Up here it's hard, what I call hard work, hard and fast, and this is soft work. So the hard work is always going to be there, and it absolutely must be done. Like payroll, for example. I've got to make sure everybody gets paid. It's a must do. It's something that, there's lots of should do's. It's not something I should do, it's something I must do. So when I'm starting to look at the tasks that need to be done, we can start to look through how we can actually get down to these lower levels. So C is nice to do. Calling family and friends during work time. Often, when you actually audit your time and think about yesterday, think about the day before. So here in Australia, it's Wednesday. Sydney, Australia, it's Wednesday. I appreciate some of you guys watching. It's still Tuesday. We're a little bit ahead of time. Here, think about Monday. Think about like Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, last week. How many of those tasks that you did, how many of the things that you did on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday last week, how many of the things that took up your time were in your diary were must-do activities? How many of them were should-do activities, and how many of them were nice-to-do activities? Because I guarantee you, until you start thinking efficiently and effectively in terms of prioritising and remembering that when we're working from home, we're maybe not, particularly if we're an employee or a manager, we're not the boss or the owner of the company that we're working for, that sometimes, certainly from an owner's perspective, we see people doing nice to do things and should do things when actually we're waiting for the must do. It's the must do that I need from you, the priority that I need from you, and I'm not seeing that because I'm seeing other things. One of my pet hates is filing emails. I don't like seeing people filing emails because we use a Google system here. You can use the search engine. Filing your emails and getting your email inbox organised in the morning is a nice to do. It's not a must do. You need to go through and find the priorities, but for most people, 80% of people, 85% of people that I work with, I see them check their email at the end of the day and then the last thing they do is check their email, and the first thing they do is check their email. And I'm like, well, what changed overnight? Yeah, of course I may have sent a few emails, but it's understanding that those are should do's. You should check your email. But it's a nice to do. So filing email is a nice to do, checking your email is a should do. What is the must do? It's getting through the most important things from the afternoon before that you didn't get to, then get on to the next most important things. The next one is delegate. What can I and only I do that, if done well, will make a real difference? And this is really important. So from a delegation perspective, what can I and only I do, that's a must do, that if done well will make a real difference in your organisation. Now this is the stuff that when you're working from home is the most important. Now filing emails, for example, just to use that example, it's a nice to do. It's not what can I do that only I can do that if done well will make a real difference in the company. Filing emails is going to make absolutely no difference in the organisation, and I've had a long phone conversation with my executive assistant Caitlin this morning about my email inbox because there are no folders, nothing gets folded. Nothing gets filed, everything is either read or unread, and that is it. And then we just use the search terms to do that, and I've been operating that way for about 15 years. So it's something that, let's not get into the weeds about email management today, but I just want you to understand this is the most important question here. What can you and only you do that, if done well, makes a significant difference in your organisation? That's where I want you to focus. Those are the A tasks. And if what you're looking at doing and you audit your time and you did do something, can you delegate it? Because everything else can be delegated. And then the last one, E, is eliminate. So doing or not doing has absolutely no consequence. And discontinue, it can be discontinued with no real effect. I hope this is making sense to everybody. I hope the audio is okay for you, Luke, because I moved away from the microphone. So that is something that I want you to be thinking about. So we've got must do, should do, nice to do, delegate, eliminate. So I hope everyone's taking notes. Are we getting any questions yet? So you've got the comments on LinkedIn. You've got the comments there on YouTube to make comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Great to know everybody. I haven't got a dashboard from Luke at this stage, so I might just jump on LinkedIn here and see if I can see any comments. Okay, so we'll get a photo of that up for Instagram for everybody today. Let me just quickly jump on here and get any comments. Okay, morning Wayne, morning Stan, morning Trian. I hope everybody's enjoying this. I'm just going to move this, let me move this in closer to the camera for you guys so you guys can see it, and then you can get ready to take a screenshot. Okay, so you can come back to that timestamp for that one. Okay, let's get into the next one. So I hope you're all enjoying this. The next one, in terms of prioritization and working from home and understanding priorities, is the first thing, is this one here, which is a matrix that I've been using. I've been using this, I think I was probably shown this for the first time in about the year 2000, maybe 1999, as I started to do some management training and get involved in this industry, is this concept of urgent versus important. Really simple matrix. If you write out a big long list of all the things you need to do to achieve your goals, you can start thinking about how to actually prioritize. Excuse me one moment, get some water. So as we're actually thinking about writing out a task list, and I write lots of lists, everything I need to do, I try and write it in my day book. I'm carrying that day book around, and I start thinking about important and not important. So is the task I'm looking at important versus not important? Two categories, really simple. And there's urgent or not urgent. And so what we want to be starting to do is focusing on the big things that can really shift us forward, the big important tasks that can help us achieve our goals. There's an assumption you've written down some important goals, or you've got some important goals in your head. You really want to be questioning every single breath you're taking, every single step you're taking, and really challenging yourself. Am I doing one of those nice to do things, or am I doing something that's really important? You can reward yourself, and you can choose times. I need to reward myself. That's a must do, because it keeps me motivated, it keeps me excited. Do the hard work first, put the work in, and then go and reward yourself with some entertainment. So it's not reward and relax first. It's doing those things. Getting the work done first, and then work hard, then party hard, if that makes sense. There is one disclaimer. It is very important to take at least one day off per week. Like somebody like myself will be inclined to work 7 days a week, and it is important to take that time off. Sundays or some of Saturday and some of Sunday. Take that time off to rest and relax and spend time with family. After all, that's why we work in the first place. Particularly when you're working from home, you need to shut the door to the second bedroom, or shut the door, or put a sheet over your computer, or put a sheet over your work area, so that it's that's put away for the weekend, and now you can have your house back, and you can have your home back. Particularly if you are working from home, or pull a curtain across. If you can hang a small curtain, and so you can cover up your workspace, so you can actually have some time out, watching Netflix or taking some time out with friends and family. So what we're looking at here in terms of prioritizing our list, we need to move tasks and be focused on important and urgent. So these are the must-do tasks. They're important tasks and they're urgent. So they sit here in this category. We want to get onto those and get them done. Then we want to be working on important but not urgent. And then if that's all done, then we can get to urgent and not important, which is usually things for other people. And then we can leave out number 4, which is not important, not urgent. So in terms of actually, this is about triaging, if you like, triaging the tasks we need to get through. So in terms of actually going through this process, we can start to understand, okay, we can get a bit more clarity about what to work on and not get distracted. Okay, how are we going for time? At the half an hour mark. Okay, I'll put all these back up. I'm going to bring this close to the camera so that you can take a screenshot. So if you are taking screenshots, get close to this one. Okay, or take a note of the timestamp on the video. We're at about 30 minutes. You can come back to the video at any time being recorded. Okay, and my final piece of amazing advice, which is it's a little bit cliche, but it is something that I want you guys to be thinking on. I hope you can all read that. We did make a decision today to move the cameras back. In hindsight, that was a dumb idea. But anyway, so we can get a close-up. So we'll get some photos. This will all be up on Instagram. Look for Kobe Simat on Instagram. Hit the follow button. We'll also get it out on my LinkedIn, but jump across onto Instagram. That's going to be the best place to see this today. We'll get some good photos of it. Luke's taking some photos now. Okay. We've sorted out our priority list. We've been through A, B, C, D, and E. We've been through those tasks, the must-dos, the should-dos, the nice-to-do, the delegate, and the eliminate. That's the office dog barking in the background. I apologise for that. So what we then can look at is we can start to say we've actually organised our tasks. We're working on the most important stuff, and this is how you turbocharge your productivity and turbocharge your success. This is what I didn't realize that I do this, is a lot of this is my raw talent. I'm very good at this. When we do the psychometric testing on our business, and actually I look at a lot of the other people that we recruit using the psychometric testing software here, the PXT products that we use, it measures pace. It measures about 12 or 14 key elements on people as we're looking for them to come and join the business, and it gives us a deep dive on those people. What I've actually found is that for about 85% of the people that we put through the testing, they lack a sense of urgency. And it's the sense of urgency that really actually is going to drive your success. It's about really saying, actually, I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm going to get into this. It is really important. Just in the same way as if you've got a really bad headache, you will quickly reach for a painkiller like Panadol or Nurofen or aspirin, or Advil as a painkiller for your headache. When you've got that sense of urgency, you reach, when you've got high levels of pain, you reach for a solution to that, or it's that catalyst. So it's trying to figure out, thinking about a time when you were in flow, you were moving quickly, you were getting things done, you were really efficient, and you were on pace. It's thinking about how you can recreate that situation for yourself so that you can get more done, more efficiently and more productively, and reward yourself. Because if we can get rid of these C and D tasks from our task list, and I'll put that up in a second, then we can actually do some of these things. Now, the first one is work harder at what you do. Work harder at the things that only you can do it. It's something that you can do and only you can do, and it has a huge impact on your organization, and it has a huge impact on you. Focusing on doing those things while you are working from home is going to be very impactful for the people that you work with. I have spoken to a few people who are feeling a little bit exposed and a little bit worried about their job because they're working from home and they're not actively engaged and there's no sensory indicators of whether they're going to keep their job or not. If you are, go and ask your boss or ask the person that you work for, what's the most important thing that I can be working on for you? I think it's this. I just want to get a sense of agreement if I'm working on the right things to make sure I'm adding as much value as I possibly can to the organization and I'm focusing on the right priorities. So then work harder at those valuable activities, the value that you add, work harder at those valuable activities. The second one is work faster. The reason why it says work faster is that if we do a psychometric test on you, 85% of the people that I see doing our psychometric testing lack a sense of urgency. So I can honestly say the reason why this is number 2, working faster, is because I am seeing that you are all not working fast enough. Now, I'm not saying that you guys watching the video, because you guys are part of this engaged group with best practice and you're already in the top 1% of productive and efficient people, but the people around you with lack a sense of urgency, and we measure it on pace. And even across the best practice business, the business is skewed on the scale of productive and slow. Plotting, if you like, our business, even for most of our team members, is skewed, and we've got to be holding people accountable for self-awareness around that. The system is saying you're not working fast enough and on the right things. And so if you can use that technique to prioritize and focus on the valuable must-do activities, then it's going to be easy to work faster. The next one is work on higher value activities. It's reinforcing that first point that I made. Stay focused on the higher value activities. And there's nothing wrong with going to the people that you work for, whether it's your customer, your boss, and asking the question, why am I on the payroll? What is the deliverable? What's the key outcome? Not what's the process, it's outcomes focused. We're in industry now, in moving into 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, the next couple of years after this post-pandemic, as we get into these, completely changed global economy, it's moving to an outcomes focus. So when we say work on higher value activities, it's important to understand how your high value activity delivers an outcome and what are the outcomes that your organization or your customers or you are looking for, achievement of goals. So work on high value activities. Think about what's a low value activity that I do, what's a high value activity that I do. It's not a good use of my time filing emails. It's a better use of my time delivering content and training you guys, or working and coaching my team, or being a mentor for people in our business. That's the best use of my time that is going to have a high impact on our organization. Do things you are better at and become excellent. So focus on the things that you are better than anybody else at. Play into your strengths. Forget weaknesses. I don't work on my weaknesses. I delegate and employ into my weaknesses. I focus on doing things that I'm better at than anybody else, and then I become excellent at those things. That is that high performance, it's high value. So we're focusing on high value activities, then we're focusing on doing things you're better at, and then we're becoming excellent at those things. That's the high value. Let me give you an example. I love mowing the lawn. I love doing gardening, but I'm not the best at it. Yes, I've got to make a decision about, is that a high value activity? Is it helping my team? Is it shifting me forward towards my goals? Or is it my hobby? Now, it's of course I can spend time doing my hobby, but don't do it during the middle of a business day when the high value activity is coaching my team, for example. I love, today would be an excellent day to go outside. The sun's out, I could go home and I could mow the lawn and I could look after the garden. But instead of that, I have a gardener that looks after it for me. And so I focus on the high value activity and I do things that I'm better at. He's better at gardening than I am. So we need to focus on that. Like in terms of everybody here at Best Practice, I'm the best person in front of the camera, the person to head and lead the business. Everybody else is doing the other things to make this organisation run. I'm not very good at that. I leave a path of chaos and destruction. So the high value activity for me right now in this moment is this for you guys. Bunching your tasks, getting in flow and doing all of the emails, all of the follow-up phone calls, all of the work for customers, all of the consulting, all of the checking, all of the balancing, whatever it might be that you need to do, bunching activities and not jumping around, doing 5 or 6 of the same activity in a bunch, and bunching your activity means that you get into a cycle. It means you get into a routine. Instead of having, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to change to that, try and bunch your activities. Simplify your work. And I was trying to think about an example for this in terms of what you're doing. We're doing a restructure of our organisation at the moment and we're simplifying. It got complicated and things get, like pruning a hedge or doing the gardening, there's a gardening analogy, things grow and you've got to crop them back and you'll be constantly looking at cost cutting, constantly looking at simplification, because plants grow, organisations grow, and we've got to prune them so they grow in the right direction. Products and services that you offer, prune them back, prune the ones back that are not going in the right direction, prune them off so your organisation can grow in the right direction, in the direction you want it to grow into. So simplification. Now, if you've done all these things, if you've worked harder, if you've worked faster, if you've worked on higher value activities, if you do things you're better at and become excellent at those things, if you bunch your tasks and you've simplified your work, if you've done all of those things, then the compounding interest on what you're doing in terms of working from home, helping your organisation and being super valuable to your customers, to your teammates, to your people in your organisation, work longer hours. Now you must do all these things first, because others say, oh yeah, I can just work longer hours. If you have, unless this is the summary, this is the kicker. If you have been through the rest of this, if you have identified what you can delegate, if you have identified what you can eliminate and you've delegated, you've eliminated, you've done all the must-dos, you've done the should-dos and you've done the nice-to-dos, then working longer hours is going to propel you to success, working from home, working from an office, wherever you might be. So you can start to think about that. So it's the very last thing. It's not first, it's last. And I've been saying it a lot lately. To do more, you've got to do less. So if we start now going through this process, I hope this is all in shot for you. Somewhere about there, is that all in shot? Excellent. So the very last thing is working longer hours, because you're doing the must-dos that are not urgent and important, and working longer hours on the right things is the right thing to do. And in theory, if you love what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. So people will have to tell you to stop because you love what you're doing, and it becomes your hobby, and that will drive you towards success. We're coming up to the 40-minute mark. Have we got any questions? Pardon? 30 mark? Sorry, we were running late, were we? About 30. Okay. It sounds like my niece and nephew have also come to visit the office today. I can hear little children outside. Okay, so let me just quickly check in on LinkedIn. Comments. Just updating. Okay, so anybody with any questions, let me know, what do you think about this? Was this valuable for you? Is it useful? Am I just telling you? Am I summarizing? Let me know in the comments. I've got LinkedIn open here. Stand by. Let me just try and bring it back again. Okay. Legend King of the Hill, thank you very much for your Bitcoin promotion. You pruned your apple tree. Excellent. Fantastic. Yes, I agree. Following up with customers is very important. Shalika, good to see you this week, by the way. Lifting things and networking. Absolutely. Okay, so let me know if this was helpful. That's my LinkedIn comments. Any comments on YouTube? No comments on YouTube at this stage. Any questions? Who we got on YouTube this morning? Faith. Hello, Faith. Okay, cool. Excellent. Well, I'm going to wrap that up there. Let me know where you guys are all watching from. I like to see that in the comments. Let me know if this was useful. If this was useful and you are still on LinkedIn, I can see a bunch of people there. Hit that like button for me. So then the software realizes that we're doing some great stuff. And I hope this has been useful as always. We are going to be live in exactly 23 and a half hours from now. So same time tomorrow, we're going to be live with an extension on this particular topic. We've gone through the email. We've had people asking us questions about workplace health, occupational health and safety laws with people working from home. We're going to continue the trend of this week's topic on working from home. I'll go back over some of these productivity tips. We've got questions that have come in via email. So we sent out an email yesterday to ask people if you've got questions. So if you'd like to anonymously send in an email, but I will give you a shout out if you want a shout out for anyone that's interested. Let me know in either via email or in the comments. We're going to cover questions tomorrow. Deep dive on the Q&A. I'll have a little bit more content for you guys, but I'm not just going to show up and throw up. It's over to you guys tomorrow for me helping you. You can grab time. You can get my opinion on whatever it is. No questions off limits. So happy to help there with everybody and answer those questions. So hit that like button right now on LinkedIn or YouTube, wherever you are. If you are following us on YouTube and you are seeing this after the recording, I look forward to being a current provider of content for you. So hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We're going to put photos of this on my Instagram page. That will be up on Instagram in literally, I'm going to hang up right now and I'm going to post straight to my Instagram account. So go across to Instagram, find Kobe Simat on Instagram, and I'll throw those photos up. You can screenshot them. You can use them as notes. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if there's any particular topics or any concerns you've got, or if you want more help about contextualizing it for you. I'm always happy to direct message backwards and forwards on Instagram or direct message me on LinkedIn. I'm absolutely here to help. So if you've got any challenges, if you want me to help you with your specific scenario, I'm always happy. I'll sit there and I'll message backwards and forwards and we can solve those blockages for you, because I want to see you have a successful time working from home. We have recorded a podcast while we're doing this. So if you are into podcasts, you want to go back and have a summary of this particular topic, look out for the Kobe Simat audio experience on your favorite podcast platform. We recorded and produced our 100th podcast last week, so congratulations to the team for their help with that. Really exciting to get to that 100 podcasts, which has been really good, and lots going on. So don't forget to grab yourself your copy for your organization, for your company, of the Working From Home Guide. It's available at bestpractice.biz/guides. If your organization wants some coaching, Next Practice is right there to help you. You can reach out to us and we can do this stuff with your team. We can deliver it live with your team. We can take you through these workshops and help your team work more effectively from home, set you up with great systems. Otherwise, if you don't see me out and about, I'm going to be right here in the studio in 23 and a half hours time, 24 hours, less than that, 23 hours time. We're going to be right here in the studio. If you miss the live stream, you are watching the recording, please still comment. We see the inbox in YouTube. My name's Kobe Simat. I'm the CEO here at Best Practice. It's my job to help your organization make more profit, get organized, clear those blockages, and grow out of this pandemic. And I will see you right here next time on Best Practice TV. Bye for now.